Just a couple.
Right?
Huh?
Nope.
No, you've got a few reserves.
Should be a pretty small meeting, short meeting.
Yep, you're live.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the Select Board meeting of May 13th, 2025. First thing on our agenda, as always, is our public comment. I do want to welcome those that are here remotely. If you do have a public comment, I would ask that you keep it to 2 minutes and that it not be anything that's on our agenda this evening. Is there public comment? I don't see any hands raised, and that's confirmed by our town administrator. So we'll move on to board member updates and comments. Hector?
Nothing.
Nothing this evening. The board?
Nothing this evening.
Courtney?
None for me.
Megan?
Nothing this evening.
Okay, well, the only thing I have is the Old Town Hall Reuse Committee. We did meet last night. We did hammer out the recommendation that will be coming to this board fairly soon, and we also worked on the PowerPoint presentation for everybody. So we're actually getting pretty close.
Cool.
And with that said, I have something that I'd like to read from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Stow, a certificate of appreciation to Courtney Frazier. On this 13th day of May 2025, the Stow Select Board hereby expresses its sincere thanks to Courtney Frazier as she completes her tenure as a Select Board member. First elected in 2019, Courtney has served 2 terms on the Select Board, acting as chair from 2023 through 2024. During her time on the board, the town has selected and welcomed a new town administrator, coped with the pandemic, and seen projects like the library renovation begin to take form. In addition, she was part of the Select Board's transition from being known as the Board of Selectmen, as the town's leaders modified their titles to reflect societal changes. Through all of this, she has offered her opinions with sensitivity and perception, keeping the board's goals of civility and transparency clearly in mind while interacting with residents and deciding on issues of the day. On behalf of the entire town, the Select Board wants to thank Courtney for her dedication and service and wishes her continued success and fulfillment in all her endeavors.
Thank you.
Surprise! Any comments you would like to make?
I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve.
Well, thank you.
I've learned a lot and I'd say all of it was good.
Well, I will just say you will be missed.
You will be missed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And with that,
Let's move on.
yes, I was gonna say, with that, before we start tearing up, the town administrator's report.
Thank you. Reminder that the town election is this Saturday, May 17th. Polling hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Center School. If you have requested a mail-in ballot, please return it. Some frequently asked questions that have been coming up. I just found out I will not be in Stow during polling hours on election day. Or I cannot get to the polls due to a disability. Can I still vote? Yes. Folks still qualify for an absentee ballot. So the mail-in ballot period has ended, but people can still qualify for an absentee ballot. You may vote in-person absentee between now and 12 noon on Friday, May 16th. The voter must complete an absentee ballot application form. In-person absentee applications are available at the town clerk's office or online. It is recommended you call ahead to make an appointment first. So there are special circumstances. If a voter has been admitted to a healthcare facility, they should call the town clerk's office and talk about their options. But I know even last night Deb was going to the post office to drop off the last round of mail-in ballots. So people have requested them, please get them back by Election Day. In addition, just to bring the board up to speed, so I spent the day today in Boston, had a good meeting of the MMA Board of Directors, although a gloomy outlook, talking about all the budget concerns at the state level. And from there, we went to the State House and met with the Lieutenant Governor and expressed to her all of our concerns. And then after that, Representative Hogan, myself, met with the Lieutenant Governor, members of the Office of Business Development, and Peter Masters from the Masters Academy, trying to get the state as excited about the Masters Academy as we are. Primarily because of the USA Fencing connection. USA Fencing is looking for some type of financial contribution to entice them to come here. Obviously, it cannot come from the town. Because USA Fencing is nonprofit, there's really not a lot that the state can do. But because Masters is looking at $150 million investment into the town of Stow, which is taxable, obviously the state benefits from that. So the state was they were very excited to hear about the project and actually get an in-depth look at what they're planning. As of today, they are still expecting to close with their last investment firm, and they're hoping to close within the next 2 weeks. They have to have their building permits submitted by, I think, June 16th, so that they can be shovels in the ground by the end of July is their goal, to be open for fall of 2026. They are expecting anywhere between 300 and 500 jobs that would come to Stow. That increases our Chapter 90 revenue as well. And as I said, somewhere between 75 and 150 million is their expected total investment in the property. And then they're looking anywhere from 25 to 75 million dollars in annual expenses.
Wow.
So it is obviously huge for Stow. I mean, I joked to the LG that I met Peter in 2021 and I latched on and I'm not letting him go. This is like a dream that fell into our lap. So they are very excited. The Office of Business Development is really looking for ways that they can provide some funding, some opportunities. And USA Fencing is expecting to make a decision the 17th, which I think might be Saturday. So the LG or her office are hoping to send a letter to show how important it is. The state is taking it seriously. They're doing everything they can. And then hopefully that will finalize Masters with their investment firm as well. So I will keep you all posted, but very exciting afternoon. Was really excited, both the governor and the lieutenant governor, obviously big sports enthusiasts. They both played basketball. They're, talking about a master sports academy and that would hone the craft for so many they were so excited about. So I will keep you posted, but good things.
Thank you very much. Exciting news.
Yes.
Okay, I don't believe we have any appointments this evening,
We do not.
so we can move right into our discussion of possible vote. I will take a motion for the Pride Proclamation.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the request for a Pride Proclamation.
Second.
And we'll open it up for discussion. Any comments from anybody?
I just have one. Is June 2025 like a National Pride Month? Okay,
June is
Pride
Pride Month.
okay.
And I will just add, you have Kevin who requested the proclamation. He is on, so if you do have any questions for him, he is on.
Actually, I'd like to open it up to Kevin to see if he has any comments or anything he would like to say to the board.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just am grateful that this board in the past has approved proclamations to recognize this important part of our community, and I can tell you that the work that that a small group of volunteers has done over the past few years to really amplify the local pride event that we do on the Bolton Common is really terrific. That group, which is chaired by a Stow resident, not myself, has recently established itself as a 501c3 entity, which allows it to do more in terms of, as I'm sure everyone here knows, around grant writing and fundraising and really adding some legitimacy to it. So I think there's a local presence here that's really wonderful, and I so appreciate the board's consideration of this proclamation.
Thank you. Any other questions on the request?
Thank you for submitting
Yeah,
this.
thanks for,
Yes.
thanks
Thank
for
you for the
taking time.
submission.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor of accepting and approving the request for the Pride Proclamation?
Aye.
And let the record show it's unanimous. I'll take the second motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve and sign the Pride Proclamation presented at this meeting.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, I'll just read it.
Sure.
Okay. So, proclamation celebrating Pride Month, June 2025. Whereas the town of Stow strives to be a welcoming community fostering acceptance and respect. And whereas Stow recognizes and values diversity among its residents, their friends and families and people everywhere. And whereas Stow recognizes and values the contributions that each resident makes to the vibrant and important endeavors critical to creating an active, accepting, respectful community. And whereas the town is strengthened by and thrives upon the rich diversity of cultural, ethnic, racial, gender, and sexual identities of all its residents. And the town is strengthened by and thrives upon the rich diversity of cultural, ethnic, racial, gender, and sexual identities of all its residents. And whereas LGBTQIA+ residents are full members of our community. And whereas LGBTQIA+ youth are at especially high risk of experiencing discrimination, prejudice, mistreatment, bullying, and violence, and have increased suicidal rates. And whereas the town is committed to ensuring all residents are safe, welcome, valued, and supported. And whereas the town recognizes that our nation was founded on the principles that all people are created equally, and that all have the right to life, liberty, and happiness. And whereas June 2025 marks the annual celebration nationally of Pride Month, commemorating the resistance of or by LGBTQIA+ people against harassment and abuse by New York City Police at the Stonewall Inn in 1969. And whereas town residents have been leaders, volunteers, participants, and attendees annually at the Neshoba Valley Pride Festival, held this year on Sunday, May 18th, which fosters community and strives to advocate for, support, and uplift our LGBTQIA+ community with a focus on equality, diversity, and acceptance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that June 2025 be declared Pride Month in the town of Stow, and that all residents be encouraged to recognize and acknowledge the contributions of the LGBTQIA+ members of our community, as continue to advance the principles of liberty, equity, inclusivity for all. Signed this day, the 13th of May, 2025, by members of the Selectboard of Stow, Massachusetts.
Nice reading.
Thank you. Comes from the heart. If there are no further comments,
Kevin, I will scan that and send it to you so you have it.
Thanks, Denise, and I don't know what I was thinking with that email address I sent, but I corrected it in an email to you today.
Yes.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, thank you.
And now for the official vote, I want it as a roll call vote, please. Mr. Costanzos,
Aye.
Ms. Hegman Clark,
Aye.
Ms. Freicha,
Aye.
Ms. Birch McMichael,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. It is unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, moving along, our one-day liquor licenses for Clover Road Brewing LLC at American Heritage Museum's event manager Jamie Muldoon. The dates,
Oh, that's funny.
They're on.
Go ahead.
as specified, and I will take it in the motion actually, if you don't mind.
Not at all. I move to approve special one-day liquor licenses for Clover Road Brewing LLC at American Heritage Museum for Saturday, May 24th and Sunday, May 25th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, June 14th and Sunday, June 15th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, August 16th and Sunday, August 17th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, October 11th and Sunday, October 12th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., provided that all requirements have been met and approved by the town administrator.
Second, any?
Second.
Okay, discussion, do we have someone here?
You have Jamie.
Ah, Jamie's here. Jamie, would you like to comment?
It's John. My wife keeps sabotaging me with his Zoom name. Every time I get on these town meetings, I'm like, oh, I always forget to change it. My name's John Muldoon. I'm one of the owners at Clover Road. We did this event, not this event, we did an event at the Heritage Museum in September. It was lovely. It's one of my favorite places to go. I have core memory of going there my first Father's Day with my daughter and being so surprised at what was there in my backyard and not knowing about it. And so since then, we've struck up a partnership with the Heritage Museum. We just brewed a charity beer, a pre-prohibition lager, and the proceeds of which are going to a party for active military endeavors. And we're trying to draw more awareness to the museum through our presence. And collaboration. So we're excited about it. I'm excited about the event. I love going to those things, and yeah.
Great.
There was a terrible closing.
Okay.
It's okay, we're not grading you. Does anybody have any questions?
So everything's in order with crowd control and tips licensing and
Yes.
American Tip certification. I sent mine, and she asked for some more folks there. We don't have the full staffing for the event, but I'm there both days. I'm always there, so I can shoot over the folks as we know who's going to be there which days. Some of them are quite far out. Even the May one, we're not staffed for that yet.
Right.
yeah, of course.
I'll be there though.
Yes, so police and fire chiefs have reviewed it. I will say, the police chief actually removed some of the restrictions that he placed last year, because there were no concerns. Last year, there was, I think, a 2 or 3 drink maximum, sorry. But that's been removed. And he had no concerns, and the fire department has no concerns, other than, the fire department will still be on site when there are pyrotechnics and whatnot under the regular, special events for the museum itself.
Okay,
Great,
wonderful.
thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Hi.
Let it show that it passed unanimously. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, moving on, approval of our general bond anticipation note. I'll take the motion.
Okay,
Take a deep breath.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the sale of $8,171,500, 4% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes, of the town dated May 20th, 2025, and payable October 26th, 2025, to B of A Securities Incorporated, at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $24,923.07. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sales of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated April 29th, 2025, and a final official statement dated May 6th, 2025, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted, that the town treasurer and the select board be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted, that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax-exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. Further voted, that any certificates or documents related to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original, and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of a signature page to a document by electronic mail in a PDF file, or by other electronic transmission, shall be as effective as delivery of a manually executed counterpart signature page to such document. And electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purposes of the documents, and all matters relating thereto, having the same legal effect as original signatures. Further voted, that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes.
Second.
Well done.
Hector, well done, that was a good second.
Second was great, you're right there. Could we get a little explanation?
Certainly, I mean, so this covers, as I put in the memo, the debt exclusion piece of the Randall Library project, so $6,706,500. The town hall water system improvement that we authorized in 2023, we borrowed $35,000 last year to close out the year, so we didn't have a deficit. This was the remaining $715,000. And the fire engine that was authorized last May of '24, the fire truck was actually authorized at $990,000, but we only expect it to be about $740,000. That is hopefully being delivered this week or next. So this is a temporary borrowing through October for a couple reasons. Obviously, the market has been so volatile in the last few months, we didn't want to permanently finance and get a rate that would drop in a month or two. So we decided to borrow it temporarily through October, and we would plan for a permanent financing of these and then probably the $2.5 million for the library. We have an ambulance still floating out there that we authorized, wherever that may be, and then there's a DPW truck. So it's just timing wise. And so for this borrowing, even though it's $8 million, we only owe an interest payment in October, and then when we permanently finance it, it will be, the first principal would be due a year after that. So in the budget that was just approved at town meeting on Saturday, I think Mark Forbes asked about the debt. The interest, the short-term interest was increased quite a bit because we included the interest payment for these.
Okay. So if I also understand correctly, if it hits correctly, because things could come in at a different time, you can parcel it. Is that correct?
I can parcel.
For each of the things that were, like the fire truck, well, obviously the library is one lump sum, but some of the other stuff that's in there. So it can be parceled in, is that correct?
Yes, and so with the fire truck, if it comes in at 730,000, we will only permanently borrow 730,000 and pay the $20,000 back in the fall. If the water system, that was one of those wild cards that until it's all done and, you know, with the DEP requirements and the private wells that we're putting on the two properties, we figured we'll just temporarily borrow the full amount that's remaining, and then whatever we can only, you know, if we only have to borrow 500, we'll pay off the 215 and borrow the 500. So we can do it, the Randall Library, we know we're gonna spend that whole 6 million, which we've already
Yeah.
started spending. That was really the impetus of why we had to do it now, because that was gonna create a deficit in our books for June 30th. So we needed to get and we figured, why do a portion of that when we know we're gonna need that whole thing? That we did not put the 2.5 forward yet because we're still working on now the 6 million. So if come October, we are all set with the fire engine, which I expect, the library is all set, but the water system is still questionable. We can permanently borrow the library and the fire engine and then do a temporary note again on the town hall water system
Right.
if we need to figure out what that final cost will be.
Right, that's what I was getting
Yep.
at, so,
Yep.
and use the advantage if the interest rates, et cetera,
Yes,
work in our favor,
yes.
okay.
Yep.
That was my question. Anybody else?
I didn't know enough to even know what to ask. So this explained it.
Okay. If there's no other questions or comments, take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Great, we can balance the budget, yay!
Yes,
Before we get
not
to,
balanced, we can close the books.
Close the books, this is true, yes.
Mr. Chair, before we
Yes.
get to the next agenda item, as the clerk, I am responsible for signing this document. So I just want to ask in a public meeting that this public meeting was advertised in accordance as stated in this thing, and that there were no executive sessions or secret deliberations with respect to this document.
Well, I can, so the public notice requirements under borrowing is simply an agenda duly noticed within your 48-hour
And that I
requirement.
know is
So
done.
I can attest to that. I-
Have there been any
Have
secret,
there been any secret
No.
discussions of any kind related to this subject?
Absolutely not.
Like I said, I
There you
didn't.
go.
all
I
right,
was glad I could read the
Thank
motion.
You can sign it right now.
are you gonna give me a fancified pen?
There you go.
And this is clerk of the select board,
Yes, it is.
not
Yes.
town.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that, you can continue.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I'll take my job seriously.
I'm very happy that you do. Next up is our summer meeting schedule. I'll take a motion.
So there is no motion, because we did not know what you wanted to proceed with.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that this be one of those items that you discuss a little bit before we have a motion, because I don't know how you wanna proceed. And I don't wanna make assumptions.
Well, and I was gonna ask, should this discussion wait until we have the new member of the select board?
Nah,
No.
Okay, never mind.
Well, they step into everything else.
Yeah,
And for planning purposes, it helps us so that we know that if we have meetings for the summer or not, that we can plan for the next 2 or 3 meetings or however many there would be.
and it also brings the new people in slowly,
easier. Yeah.
so they don't shake in their boots.
That didn't work.
Talk to you about a couple of things.
And I believe last couple of summers, we just met in July, once in July and once in August, right?
So you started last year was the first year for the summer schedule. I think it was one of Courtney's last bits of business while she was chair. And you met, yes, you had the first July meeting and then you had the second August meeting, so you had the middle 5 or so weeks off. Obviously with the caveat that if we need something to be done, we will certainly schedule a meeting.
Right, so that was my concern last year, and I would reiterate that same
Yes,
concern.
yeah.
Yeah, if there needs to be called an emergency meeting or an emergency executive session, all are willing to, well, except Courtney. But we will have a quorum with the four of us anyhow, as well. Okay.
Maybe, I still am subject to
She's
approval by
still
the
running
town voters.
Okay, we have a
Well-
quorum of three of us.
Well, and as long as we have a quorum, I mean, obviously, we would make sure we would have a quorum of members for any type of meeting that we needed to have. Emergency or otherwise, I mean, something could come up that's not urgent, but we need to get it done, so.
Okay. I thought last summer, it worked out really well,
I did too.
and it was nice to get that breather.
And you don't anticipate, sorry, Mr. Chair, you don't anticipate anything coming up that like is normally on our calendar, that would be something we would need to,
No, so.
like, it's not like we're doing it during budget season, so,
No, no,
do you know
no.
what I mean?
So between now and then, at your next meeting, the planning board will be coming in to give you their 3A zoning update. Valerie, the moderator, and I have been meeting, I don't know, for the last few months, trying to identify a special town meeting date. So I would expect either at your next meeting or the first June meeting, we will set that date. That's really the big thing, and then there shouldn't be any, again, if something comes up, but there shouldn't be, as long as we get that squared away, I don't anticipate anything coming up.
Nothing with the library as its project's coming to a close?
Coming to a close.
Well, yeah.
Certainly not before the summer.
Okay. Okay. So then we would follow,
So on the schedule, which I'm happy to read the dates, if you wanna follow that, your meetings would be, July 8th and August 26th, which would be the first July meeting and the second August meeting.
I can do both of those, those are the only ones I can do.
so July 8th and August 26th. Okay, perfect.
Mr. Chair, I move to set the summer meeting schedule as July 8th and August 26th, bracketing a nice chunk of time off for all involved.
Second.
I just have one discussion item. I will not be available on the July 8th. I'll be
Okay.
giving a presentation in Rockport.
I will put that on my calendar. Should you be reelected, obviously.
Right, yes, should I be reelected?
I don't wanna make assumptions.
No.
Okay. Any further comments?
Was there a second? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, Hector second.
Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How many
Okay.
seconds that soft? The second person that didn't hear my seconds.
I heard it and forgot
I think I'm
it.
gonna miss the second June meeting.
Jim didn't hear it at the town meeting.
I'm gone the 15th to the 29th.
All right.
Okay.
The next is on the agenda, the acceptance of the donation of the Henry Gardner sign from Ellen Sturgis. It says pending further information.
Yes, so at the time, so I had been contacted by both the Historic Commission and Ellen about making a donation. She has now, so I put it on the agenda because the goal is to have the sign in place for Memorial Day. And so I made sure it was on the agenda because this is your last meeting before Memorial Day. I have since gotten a recommendation from the Historic Commission that you accept the donation, and I have a proof which I will show you in a moment.
So how about them Celtics?
Maybe longer than a moment. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
let me see if that will.
That's
Great.
So, I included in the packet, Ellen's great uncle,
Goal.
I think 3 greats, uncle,
Yeah.
was Henry Gardner, oh, his brother, it was Henry Gardner, her uncle, sorry.
Yeah.
Grandfather's brother. And so they, wish to make this donation. The total value of the sign, including the sign, lumber, hardware, and labor, is under $350.
And this is to go on the lower common, right?
Yes, there is
To
a
replace the one that's
sign
there.
there, yes, it will replace what is there. And as I said, they hope to have the unveiling for Memorial Day.
Lovely.
Great.
That's great.
Cool.
I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the donation from Ellen Sturgis of a new historical sign on the Lower Village Green for the Gardner Inn, home of Henry Gardner, from 1731 to 1782. Total value of the sign is under $350, including the printed sign, lumber, hardware, and labor.
Second.
And if, mind me just to add, I'm sorry, so Ellen and Mike are away or else she would have been at the meeting, so she was unable to be here.
Okay, thank you. Any further?
No, I think it's lovely.
Okay, seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I let the record show it's unanimous. Okay, moving
Perambulating.
on.
Yes, please.
So,
Favorite thing.
we have a request from Acton with regards to the Perambulating the Bounds. So I'd rather have the discussion so we know if we are moving on it and what we're moving on and all that good stuff.
I did that with the Acton one Acton Select Board member, must have been 4 or 5 years ago, or longer.
No, it was longer, cause if you didn't do the last one, cause I did the last one,
Oh.
Ellen and I did it together.
Okay,
And we
then I
did like
must have done the
10
one
or 12 of them,
before.
I think you did it the last time you were on the board.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, on the
It's really
Acton
cool.
side.
Yeah.
The Hudson side hasn't been done in a while.
we did it,
You
we
did.
found a lot, actually.
Right, but the last one has never been finalized because we were waiting on Hudson and they refused to participate.
So the issue with the one in Hudson is it's in the water. It's like in the middle of it's just a wetland, like we got in as far as we could get, but like you needed a boat.
And
Like
then part of it is on the farm, for Julian's farm.
we got that one.
You did get that,
I
yeah.
have a lovely picture of me going down a hill, like scaling it backwards, but we were able to do a lot, but yes, you're absolutely right, Hudson, except for that one, we haven't, yeah.
I think it's fun to do,
it is.
so I'll put that in there for the discussion.
Yes, and I will happily be a part of that.
So if you get reelected, you'd like to do it?
That's right, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I went on
You
one
went
of
too.
one of the pieces, and
Yep.
it was very pleasant.
Yeah, I've never done.
Great.
It's fun, you just walk all over the place, and then you take a
With people
little
you know.
black paint and you
And then you paint S, and then the,
and the year.
The year.
Well, you redarken the S, and then you put the year you come.
it's fun.
It is fun.
We should find an open place on the rock.
Exactly.
I know.
If it's not already painted.
So it'll probably take more than one day, so I think the more the better.
Yeah, it's super fun, and there's one part of it where like, I'll have to look it up before, cause my son thought it was hilarious, but like, you're supposed to, the chair is supposed to slap their firstborn child, like this is from the 1700s, so that you will like when you find the bound, you're supposed to hit your child so that you remember forever where that bound was.
Oh, Lord.
I'm gonna have to find the text for it, but I just remember it was like the most antiquated, like weirdest thing, but
Thank
it
goodness
was
we
really.
progressed and stuff.
Yeah. Slap your child to remember.
Right.
Okay. We're not gonna be doing that, right?
No, absolutely.
We're not taking your child.
No, I'm not going to, I might take him, but I will not
Good.
slap him.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I move to coordinate with the town of Acton for perambulation of bounds.
Second.
discussion, comments?
Would you like me to?
Will you be taking a second vote to nominate people on the board to participate? After the coordination vote?
Sure.
I can, yeah.
And then I would say, we did not reach out to Greg Troxel because I wanted the board to have this conversation, so you could vote him as an alternate if he's willing to participate, and then we could reach out and say that if, that way you don't need another vote on that, so I would put that out there.
Yeah.
So let's take this first vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'll take the second motion.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Megan Birch McMichael and Ingeborg Hegman Clark
Should I be reelected?
and
Yes.
Hector Constanzos.
You're not gonna do it?
How about you?
Sure.
And yourself, Mr. Toole,
And we may nominate others on the board.
and
And
And bring along others, yes.
Yes, and
Second,
wait, we want as a alternate Greg Troxel, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I will say, hopefully he does it, he was invaluable
yeah,
Invaluable.
he knows a huge amount.
to being able to find everything, absolutely.
Oh, great.
He's a GIS whiz.
And we have to get
Yeah.
Has
permission.
equipment,
We have to get all the permissions, and we have to send the letters, and we have to do all the things, so.
Now should I second?
so including Greg Troxel as an associate, as an
Worst
alternate,
motion ever.
and other board members who may like to participate when the time comes.
Second.
May I add one friendly comment?
Sure.
The Greg Troxel, if he would like to participate, obviously. We don't want to just appoint him as an alternate.
So amended.
Yes, so amended, there we are,
Messy
yes.
little-
And I'll second the amendment.
Okay. Since the amendment is, I deem not that substantial, we'll just
Vote
keep
on
it as one
Oh, Lord.
motion.
Sorry. Go, make call the vote.
Is there any further discussion?
I'm gonna miss that if you don't.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
So it's unanimous.
Alright,
I'll take a motion on the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the meeting minutes of the April 22nd, 2025 meeting.
Second,
Comments, discussion?
everything looked good.
Yeah, it actually did. Very accurate, so that's great.
Is this still AI?
We approved the payment for it.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. We did have some cool board correspondence.
Nothing from Comcast or Verizon.
I know, it's been a
Nothing
while.
about us.
Did you?
I must have.
you made him mad?
We'll be sure to save him up all summer for you, though, for
Thank
that
you.
August meeting.
Just put in a binder.
Yeah.
And I'll take a final motion.
Mr. Chair, it is with regret that I move to adjourn.
With regret, I second.
All those,
Regretfully in favor? There you go.
Aye.
Hi.
okay, thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
Courtney.